So I'm wandering up a trail here at the edge of Telluride in Colorado. There's a thunderstorm brewing over the hills there. And I just finished a conference called INTERSECT on science and spirituality. It was hosted by Christ Church here in Telluride. The pastor is Pat Bailey, and his community, including Teresa Westman and others, hosted myself and the poet Drew Dellinger, the cosmologist Brian Swim, and the environmental philosopher John Hausdorfer. And over the last 2 days, we just had a great conversation about the nature of spirituality and the way that contemporary science intersects with it. And we covered a lot of ground, and we covered a lot of sky. And we ended this weekend by inviting some of the conference participants to come up and sit on a panel and just reflect on what they heard. And I was grateful for their gratitude in the sense that the conference spoke to concerns and struggles that they've had. And there was a guy named Lucas who is a PhD in chemistry and works in the pharmaceutical industry, and he was talking about how we tended to, during this conference, focus on the astronomical, the cosmological, on the stars, the galaxies, planets, and so on, and not as much on what he studies, which is the micro world, or the world of chemistry, biology, genetics. And he thought that it's easy to actually connect spirituality to astronomical science, but I find the relevance there and whatnot. But when we start to think about the intersection between spirituality and something like genetic engineering or gene editing or artificial intelligence, and the sorts of spiritual questions that are raised by these advancing technological capacities, he expressed a great deal of concern, moral concern about where these technologies, the fruits of science, would lead. And his concern stemmed from the fact that the motivation underlying the development of a lot of these tools is money and greed, the desire for personal profit, and that this desire, it's the engine of the capitalist system, right? And it's gotten us pretty far. I can't deny that the capitalist model, based on the idea of individuals seeking to maximize their own well-being and profit, that somehow an invisible hand orchestrates that whole thing and leads to the best possible outcome for everyone. But it's not always so. And with the sorts of technologies that are being developed right now, if our sole motivating factor is money and greed, if that's the human capacity that we let drive the most powerful engine of creative evolution this planet has yet discovered, and that's the economy, the human economy. It's made human beings a geological force. If greed is the only motivating factor, then we're fucked. And so these spiritual questions are more relevant than ever right now. How do we find other motivating factors? Where do we look? I mean, I don't know the answer to that question, but it's the one we need to be asking right now.